to TMRE for giving us this opportunity to speak today at this conference. We really appreciate just the partnership we have with you. Also, thank you to all the researchers and research firms and sample providers and vendors here at the conference for your reception towards Google for the past few years as we've been engaged in the research space. It's really meant a lot to us, and it's been really helpful for generally our product feedback and our ability to take our products to market. So thank you for that. Today I'm going to be announcing, speaking about an announcement of a product that we're going to be launching actually tomorrow. And we don't typically pre-announce products at Google, but we thought this would be such a great opportunity to be able to share it with you all early, just given the relationship we have with the research industry and how much we want to continue to partner with you to bring research to businesses at scale. So this product will be launching tomorrow, and you'll see more news about it kind of in the morning when we all wake up. For background, there's a suite of products we launched earlier this year, I think it was in February 2016, called the Google Analytics 360 Suite. Many of you are probably familiar with Google Analytics, the product, but the suite was launched as a more comprehensive set of tools to really enable the marketer to get kind of more insight into the consumer journey as they traverse or travel through their digital properties and as they're exposed to their media, essentially their ads. And really the purpose of the suite is to provide for sort of a holistic ROI on overall performance of your media and your digital properties. And the suite, when it was launched, was comprised of 6 products that together really helped you understand that sort of engagement with your properties and media. And what we're announcing tomorrow, and to you right here, is that we're going to be launching Google Surveys 360 as part of this suite, as a new pillar in the suite to allow marketers and researchers to really have an easy tool to conduct their own rigorous research against a representative sample of users. We're calling it Google Surveys 360. And the way we think about it is that the suite today largely is a set of tools that lets you really understand sort of how users are engaging with your media and your sites, and when they're engaging with it, kind of the path they're taking through it, and some actions as before and after they interact with it. We think of Google Surveys 360 as a product that really lets you as a researcher or a marketer engage with your actual customer or your prospective customer before, during, and after that engagement with your media, to really bring their voice back to your overall marketing-driven decision-making as you measure the performance of your ad spend and make other marketing decisions for your brand. For many of you, you're probably asking, how does this relate to Google Consumer Surveys? That's a product that we've had in the market for a few years now, and we're the same team behind that product. And in fact, this really is, in some ways, kind of the graduation of Google Consumer Surveys as we're bringing it into this larger suite. For background, Google Consumer Surveys launched in 2012, and we've been taking it to market. We built this 3-sided research market. We've been growing it pretty slowly, or pretty quickly, I should say, over the years. And many of you have been super helpful in providing feedback to it and have been using it and kind of proving that it's a great tool for conducting research. Over the past few years, we've grown the exchange that we've built, and today we're serving almost 1 million surveys a week to our panel of web and mobile users. And so with this launch of Google Surveys 360, really this is the relaunch of Google Consumer Surveys. And we think of it as I said, the graduation of the product to be part of this broader marketing suite. But really, as the team, as we look at it, we think about this as like sort of a renewed sort of commitment by Google that we're really focused on building tools for the research space and tools for researchers. And we're really excited about continuing to innovate in that area and bring our product, in this case, Google Surveys 360, to the market. The way the product works hasn't changed, so if you're familiar with it, we provide a simple tool to design surveys, survey-based research, and we put your surveys in front of a panel of web and mobile users. Today there are over 1,000 web publishers around the world that have partnered with us to show our surveys in front of their premium content, and there are over 5 million downloads of our mobile application, Google Opinion Rewards. These are users that have downloaded it and that we send surveys directly to on their mobile devices, and we compensate them for it. Across the more than 10 million users that we potentially see every day, we're able to achieve a representative sample like we always have. And we're continuing to make sure that we provide for the highest quality set of responses. You know, and we look at this like it's a big data problem. We have access to many, many potential users. We're able to oversample across all the different demographic buckets we target. And we really put great effort into ensuring that we're only providing for the right quality of response back to the researchers. And there's many of you and many research firms and third parties have begun to continue to validate the level of quality that we offer. So we're really excited about the quality we offer, and this fundamentally hasn't changed with this launch, the way we gather responses. The product itself for researchers has substantially changed, though. We've put great effort into rebuilding our user experience for researchers from the ground up, adopting the more modern look and feel of most Google products that you might be familiar with now, kind of cleaner overall design. We've also made the product more interactive. So as you look at your survey results, we package up insights and make them quick to sort of synthesize and draw insight from. And we're now introducing more interactivity directly within the product by offering cross-tabulation of your responses directly in the UI itself. Historically, a lot of our users would take the data out of the product, and we're happy for you to continue doing that, but we're trying to offer more and more utility directly within the product. So this is all going to be available in the product we launch tomorrow. As I mentioned, we have a new sort of overview or insights page that lets you quickly scan through to understand sort of the metadata about your survey and the top insights from it. We provide this cross-tabulation ability with new charts, new kind of visually appealing charts and table views. And we also provide for better organizational tooling and controls. So if you're like an enterprise or a research firm or department using this product, we now offer better controls for allowing for different users to access it, and budgetary controls, as well as kind of survey management controls to let you tag and catalog and archive surveys so you can always quickly access them. When we launch tomorrow, there's really two tiers of the product that we're launching. So the first tier is, we're calling it Google Surveys, and it's just available online for anyone to use at surveys.google.com. It's like consumer surveys has been online today. You can design a survey, pay for it with a credit card, and conduct general population or Gen Pop type surveys, screening for low incidences. Then we're also launching this enterprise tier of the product we're calling Google Surveys 360. And Google Surveys 360 is really packaged with the rest of the Google Analytics suite, positioned as a pillar within this sort of set of marketing tools, and it brings with it pretty special functionality that I want to just quickly walk through. So the first is you can actually target surveys to like audience segments that you would create through products like Google Analytics or even AdWords. These tend to be users that traverse through your website that you want to sort of segment or group based upon maybe the fact that they filled up a shopping cart and then abandoned it, as an example. Or maybe they're the users that were exposed to your media, your videos, as an example. You can segment those users and then run research against them using this user list targeting feature that we're launching. Secondly, we're continuing to offer zip code targeting, so you can target your survey to a set of zip codes, effectively approximating like a DMA, if you will. And then the last feature I'll mention is customized panels. So you can actually recruit users based on certain characteristics or declared demographics and other variables, and then persist them and continue to run research with them against them over time. The other thing I'd mention is that we have an API that we're partnering with industry to provide our sample to developers who want to bring sort of the power of our huge respondent base and the capabilities we provide, but into their own product that they're bringing to their customer base. And we made an announcement around this a few months ago. We announced a partnership with Ascribe that we're really excited about. But I just want to sort of emphasize that from our perspective, we're really excited to be offering the product to researchers, the Google 360's product, but we're also really keen to continue to partner with all of you and bring our sample to you to use through our API if you want to integrate it with either your own products or your own platforms or services. As you'll sort of see the marketing come out tomorrow and our new website will go live tomorrow, you'll see that we're really focusing on a couple core use cases for our product. We have a pretty generic research platform that allows you to perform all kinds of research, and we've seen that from the thousands of users that are coming online and creating surveys every month. But really the three use cases that stand out for us are consumer research, sort of traditional research as you're familiar with it, tapping into the pulse of the consumer to make data-driven decisions. Secondly, this idea of ad effectiveness measurement, where you can group users or put users in a list if they're exposed to your media or to your ads, and then conduct research against them, maybe 24 hours or 48 hours later, to do things like measure their recall of the brand that was in the ad, or maybe measure a change in favorability or intent to purchase from the brand behind the ad. I'll talk more about that in a minute. And then lastly, brand tracking, sort of the classic use case of taking a pulse on what consumers and prospective customers think about your brand on a recurring basis, and also sort of measure their potential intent to make purchases from your brand over time. So those are like the core use cases that we're going to be really promoting our product behind. And I'm just going to walk through really quickly a case study for each. The first is YouVisit. They're a VR company. They're building next-generation virtual reality experiences. And they've been running a lot of consumer research on our platform to really just fundamentally understand what consumers expect from their first experience with virtual reality. And their goal is to take all that data and feed it back into their product planning and roadmap to make sure that they're really surpassing consumer expectation with the product that they're launching. The second are the media company BuzzFeed, who create videos whose purpose is to go viral across social channels and YouTube and so forth. And so what they're doing is creating audience lists that capture users who've been exposed to their videos. And they then run survey-based research against those audience lists to measure the recall of the brands behind the videos, and to also capture overall sentiment and opinion about the videos. And this is really powerful for BuzzFeed because they take that data and they're actually providing it back to their advertisers as proof points for the effectiveness of BuzzFeed media. So that's this idea of measuring ad effectiveness through surveys. And the last example are Orbitz. Orbitz are a real data-driven company. They've been running frequent and recurring brand trackers on our product for a while now. And for them, it's about sort of having that benchmark, that baseline understanding of consumer perception and opinion of the Orbitz brand, and then also an understanding of future intent to purchase through Orbitz or other online channels from consumers. So those are just three use cases that sort of align to those core, or three case studies that align to those core use cases. And in the last 2 minutes, I wanted to just end with an example of how or why we think Google Surveys 360 as part of the overall Analytics 360 suite is so powerful for marketers and researchers. And so in this example, I'm going to talk about a mixture of survey-based research as well as TV lift and overall TV viewership-based research that was brought together to provide for kind of holistic perspective on the ROI of ads that ran during the Rio Olympics. So what you see here in the first two columns are a set of surveys, or data from a set of surveys, that were conducted shortly after the Rio Olympics aired that were measuring users' recall and awareness of automobile and other vertical brand ads that ran during those Olympics. And also, in addition to recall, the survey-based research conducted sort of a measure of intent to purchase and improvements over favorability for those brands for users that were exposed to the TV ads during the Olympics. On the last column, a product called Google Attribution 360, which is another product that's part of the analytics suite, was used to measure uplift in traffic to those brands' websites as measured through Google Analytics. So for viewers that were exposed to the ads, you can actually measure an uplift in overall traffic to the site. And in addition, this product, Google Attribution 360, provides for insight into an uplift in search volume at Google, again, for users that were exposed to the ads during the Olympics. And so across the two, survey-based and lift-based research, the data has been brought together and is shown here in this dashboard built by Google Data Studio 360, which is like a beautiful dashboarding tool to let you create reports and securely share them. In 30 seconds left, I want to just mention that we're having a cocktail reception over at our booth after this, and we've sponsored some cocktails. We ran survey-based research across zip codes in Boca, and the people got their, the people won, and they were able to name the cocktail. It's the Geo Mojito, so you can come find out more about that. And then lastly, also, just in the spirit of a little bit of a fun ending, We did run a survey the other day to measure, to understand like what people were going to dress their pets at. Turns out that 36% of people are going to dress their pets this Halloween, and that looks like Taco is the primary recipient of pets. Sorry, I'm out of time. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. And you'll be able to go tomorrow, surveys.google.com, and learn more about it. Thank you.